They're also generating thousands of tons of tire and e-waste as well as biomedical waste. So this quantity is huge in our country, and how to manage this thing is really is a challenge for us. So you can see generally people are dumping some in open dump yard, and you can see the mountains are there. Mountains of waste have been built. Yes, like in Ahmedabad, there is a Pirana area. Pirana is having a very big mountain dump yard where a large quantity of waste has been dumped there, and similarly this is there in Mumbai and other places in Delhi. And with time sometimes it catches fire, and then a lot of problems, a lot of smokes used to come in the surrounding areas, and this it can also spread diseases. Whenever this waste is there, it can be the source of many virus and bacteria and pathogens, and it can spread the disease. So such kind of things are there, and how to solve it in an environment friendly manner, that is a really challenge nowadays. You can see the biomedical waste. These rat pickers are collecting certain things, and they can again bring back certain things in the market, which is going to put our life at risk. So this has to be waste. Biomedical waste should also be properly managed and should be properly disposed of. So you can see there is a variety of waste streams are there, which are really causing the problem, like biomedical waste, plastic and paper waste, solid, even solvent waste used to be there in many industries. It comes out bio and agro waste, tire waste, and dairy waste is there, municipal solid waste, electronic waste, and you can expired defense waste is to be there, and industrial waste. So of course we are calling it waste because that industry, or sometimes we do not want to use those kind of old stuff, or and we throw it in the garbage. But because many of the things are like polymers, plastics, and cellulosic materials, they are having a lot of organic content in it, and it is possible if you can properly utilize this thing. It is not we should not call it a waste. It You can really actually produce wealth from the waste. You can use many of these organic mass properly, and even from electronic waste, Umicore company from Belgium, they are generating about 10,000 kg of gold per annum from electronic waste. So actually, this from the waste you can generate a lot of wealth, and this how properly you are utilizing the waste and how properly you are managing the waste. It depends on that. So conventional ways of solid waste management, you can see we are dumping in the open dump yard, and it's a big source of hazard, as well as pathogens, and disease can spread through this kind of dumping in the open. People are just putting fire on the waste, and large amount of this kind of smoke and toxic things used to come out from the waste if you are burning in open directly. This in the dump yard also sometimes it catches fire. You can see Devnar, Mumbai dump yard, where the fire it caught the fire in summer, and we always listen, we always hear in the summer. Sometimes Delhi dump yard, or Devnar Mumbai dump yard, or some other places, it catches fire, and it produces toxic fume, which is having lot of aromatic compounds, and toxins used to be there, and even particulate matters, which are not which are very harmful to the society, nearby society where people are there, staying or residing. So this kind of things one has to take care properly. The waste has to be properly disposed of, and so that such kind of issues can be solved. You can see very commonly people are using landfills. The engineering landfill used to be there, which are where systematically they are making the landfill sites where the waste is dumped, and then afterwards they are growing, they are making garden and other kind of things, so that you can this kind of open dumping can be avoided. Uh, from the organic things like vegetables and various other things which used to be there in the waste, people are doing segregation and doing composting. So this is also useful because a lot of organic material which can be degraded by these some of these bacteria, useful bacteria. They do the aerobic and anaerobic composting, and using this as a manure. Whatever this compost that used to come out, that is used as a manure, and organic manure, that is very useful. And nowadays organic farming is increasing day by day in the country as well as in the world. So you can see that overall solid waste management pools are there, made by CPCB and MOEF and Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change. So they put it in the Gazette of India, and the guidelines are there how to take care of the waste and different variety of waste, how you can take care. So various rules are there, and for biomedical waste, there is again in the Gazette of India certain norms are there for what kind of biomedical waste, what particular technology should be used. Those guidelines are given in the MOU's Gazette of India, and you can see here the waste management is not only the disposal of waste, but you have to do from source. You have to collect the waste. It has to be transported at a certain location. Then you have to do the processing. There used to be moisture and debris and various other kind of things. So you need segregation and those kind of things. Removal of moisture if it is required. So then you go for recycle. You select like some plastics people are segregating. They are going for recycling. Then some treatment is required, like some hazardous, those kind of things are there. You have to take care of those things properly, and you require treatment. You finally you go for disposal. So basically, you know, there are different conventional ways where we are going for landfilling, incineration is commonly used for disposal of waste, and composting, aerobic composting and anaerobic digestion is done, where in the presence of air or in the absence of air, uh, the manure is produced with the help of microbial decomposition of organic matter. So then recovery and recycling is done. You can recover and you can select some of the things like especially polythene and those kind of things. You can go for recycling, and the recovery involves energy production from like thermosetting polymers and various polymers which are not useful. They can be converted into simply energy. Is you can convert them into small molecules and can generate energy in the form of like carbon monoxide, hydrogen, and those kind of molecules can be produced. You can do the combustion in the gas turbine, and it can generate electrical energy, or you can even do use in the in the burner as a fuel, so that you can generate steam, and steam turbine can be used to recover energy. So basically, pyrolysis and this gasification process, they are used for this energy production kind of things. And so reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover. These are the commonly used terms where you are using it for segregation of waste. You can reduce the use of various things so that appropriate use, if you are doing you can minimize the waste production, and if you can use certain things, you can go for recycling, and here you can recover in the form of these chemicals and energy, uh, and you can also produce manure from the waste. So basically, municipal solid waste processing, you can see here. Hello, hello.
Yes, sir. No, you can
Yeah,
proceed, sir.
yeah.
No.
Okay, okay. So municipal solid waste processing, whatever moisture, debris, glass, metals, all those things, they are segregated, because debris and glass, they are just only going to consume energy if you want to dispose things in the incinerator or in the gasifier. So you need high organic content material so that you can generate useful molecules like CO and hydrogen, carbon monoxide and hydrogen, which are extremely good for energy recovery. And if the waste calorific value increases, if you are going to segregate this material, debris you are removing, glass and metals you are removing, then overall value of the calorific value of the waste increases. And you can see here typical proximate analysis of different waste. So moisture content is, you can see, mixed food 70% used to be the moisture, then volatiles, and then carbon and ash content. So this varies depending on the what waste you selected. And if you take the hospital waste, biomedical waste management, again it starts from the production, from the hospital and healthcare unit. You waste characterization is done, infectious waste or non-infectious waste. They are packing it in different bags, yellow bag, red bag, and there is black and other blue bag. And then quantification is done, means how much quantity of waste is produced, that is also taken care initially. And then segregation, mostly it is segregation is done in the hospital. They are putting it different bags and buckets, where in that different kind of waste is dumped in that. So that is also well defined. Then this is properly put it in the bags, and they are properly sealed, and it is transported in a special vehicle to the disposal site or biomedical waste treatment site. Then there is a storage of. Hello, someone has to mute this disturbance is there.
Audience, kindly unmute, sorry, mute yourself.
So storage in treatment. Hello. Yeah, some disturbance is there. Somebody is talking.
Yes, sir. Actually, they will be muted, sir. Actually, one
Okay.
within a minute. Okay.
Ananda, they are muted.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
So treatment is done, like in some of the biomedical waste, they require only sterilization, or some certain chemicals are used for sterilization, autoclaves, and they are used. And then some specific things like body parts or placenta or various body fluids and those things, they are contaminated clothings. They need to be disposed either by incineration, or it has to be disposed by plasma pyrolysis system. So this plasma pyrolysis system has also been approved by MOEF, and it is there in the Gazette of India. And whatever things are remaining, like some residue from the pyrolysis incinerator, if that is there, they are dumped in the secure landfill site. So you can see here in biomedical waste, the yellow bag, red bag, blue bag, and white or black bag used to be there. The content inside again is well defined, like human anatomical waste, placenta, human body parts, blood, contaminated clothing. They are all used to be the part of yellow bag. Then in the red bag, you can see the syringes, the catheter, IV, and water, plastic bottles, and those kind of things used to be there. They are part of red bag. Gloves. and then your bottles and other things used to be there, glass bottles and other things in the blue bag. Then needles and syringes, they are used to be in the black bag or white bag. Sharps and the other things. So basically, for all these different categories, this is also defined uh, that what process should be adopted for different kind of ways. Like for yellow category bag, one is to go for incineration or pyrolysis. Then red bag, one is to go for autoclaving or microwave oven has to be used, and then this energy recovery is possible. Somebody can think for energy recovery from these plastic things which used to be there in the red bag, so that is possible. So after sterilization and other things, one can use it. Either they can go for recycling. This what shredding is done after shredding of bottles, the plastic bottles and other things used to be done after sterilization, and either it goes for recycling or one can also think to recover energy. And there is other ways like glass and other things. There are also different methods are described here. Like one is to go for disinfection, and then afterwards they go for recycling. Sharp and metals also they are after sterilization they go for melting and those kind of things. Reuse, they melt and convert it into some other components. So okay. So particularly there is a certain guidelines that if you want to establish biomedical waste treatment facility, there are certain rules are made that at every 75 kilometers there has to be one biomedical waste treatment facility, and then for different category of waste you have to take care of all the facilities has to be there. If in that biomedical waste treatment facility, it should not be only the disposal of or incineration alone or pyrolysis technology alone should not be there. It should the complete biomedical waste treatment facility should have autoclave, should have shredder, and it should have waste disposal unit like incinerator or pyrolysis system, and it's proper. It should have proper tie-up with all different hospitals. Proper transportation has to be there, because these rack pickers or some people, they can take out the things and can reuse. They can things can come back in the market. So to avoid such things, the proper tagging is done in the hospital, and not only they are giving to the transporter, and these transporters are also they are the people who are registered, and their van which is moving in the city, that is also monitored. These people are able to see where this waste containing vehicle is there, so they can locate the vehicle. So the all systematic things are now being used in the country. So this is going on. This is getting established very fast in the entire country, and now people are becoming more aware about such harms of the from biomedical waste. You can see here the one incinerator plant is there, is properly managed, and you need to have a lot of garden and trees and other things, so that it should look good, and incineration is done. If incineration or pyrolysis system is there, it should be done properly. It should not release toxic things in the environment. So this the van where it is carrying the waste, medical waste, and autoclave and shredder, and those things used to be part of this biomedical waste disposal facility. And finally, whatever residue used to be there, that residue should be dumped in the sanitary this landfill. It should not be dumped in the open. So whatever residue is there, that is systematically disposed of. So now conventional, let us come to this conventional approach, that incinerators are having some problem, because large amount of waste is dumped inside the incinerator, and they do the burning of the waste in the primary chamber, where a large amount of excess amount of air is fed inside the reactor, and because of this excess amount of air, the overall temperature in the incinerator that used to be low, typically at 300, from 300 degrees centigrade to 700 degrees centigrade, these insulators, if they are working and when large amount of air you are introducing in the primary chamber, it generates the direct burning of the waste. It gives you lot of polyaromatic hydrocarbons, dioxins and furans, which are cancer forming. These dioxins and furans are extremely toxic and cancer causing. This particulate matter and lot of NOx used to form, and they are all environment polluting. So these kind of things are they are not acceptable. And as per the recent guideline of Ministry of Environment and Forest, such kind of incinerator should be banned completely, and the properly designed incinerator should be there. The proper engine design has to be there, and they should maintain proper temperature in the primary chamber. In the secondary chamber, they have to maintain proper temperature 1000 plus minus 1000 plus minus 50, and then they should work properly. The residence time of the gases in the secondary should be about 2 seconds. So all those things should be properly followed, so that such kind of toxic things should not come out in the environment. So that is the mandatory norms of this for biomedical waste disposal. And similar things used to form, this such kind of toxic aromatic compounds used to form even in the conventional incinerator or gasifier, where MSW, municipal solid waste, are disposed of. And if the proper condition, temperature and residence time is not properly maintained in the reactor, so they also generate very toxic compounds, chlorophenols, and these chlorophenols they combine and form tetrachloro TCDD. This is extremely toxic aromatic compound, and this causes lot of problems to the human beings. You can see lot of things are there which used to come out from the incinerators, and they are very harmful to the human beings. So they are affecting different parts of our body, and therefore this improper waste disposal is not acceptable at all. And therefore there was a necessity to develop a technology, say plasma based technology, which can provide the environment friendly solution. So let us understand this, how the chemistry is taking place. In the incineration, you are directly burning entire waste, you are burning, and large amount of air you are introducing in the reactor. In the case of pyrolysis, you are heating the waste, and you are converting it into like carbon monoxide, hydrogen and methane in small molecules, and then afterwards you can do the burning, or you can use them properly. Pyrolysis is basically a thermal disintegration of organic mass in oxygen starved environment. And you can see here this is very beautiful, for understanding the different processes. Thermal processing, you can see if the temperature, excess amount of air is there. In the case of incinerator, large amount of air is there, but temperature is lower here. But as you are going for gasification and pyrolysis, the temperature you have to increase, and you are going to your air and those things has to be reduced. Air or oxygen has to be reduced. So therefore, in the case of combustion, you require complete amount of stoichiometric amount of oxygen. So that's you are going to do the combustion, which is used to be exothermic reaction. And in the case of gasification and pyrolysis, lot of endothermic reactions takes place. So it requires the heat in the beginning, but the quantity of gases which pyrolysis is providing, they are very useful. And then once you are going to burn these gases, you are going to generate large amount of energy from the combustion of these gases. So let us understand now the plasma pyrolysis and gasification. This is an ideal technology for waste disposal and energy recovery. So we will understand that part. So let us understand first plasma. This is the fourth state of matter. This is the most active state of matter, and basically by either generating very high temperature or generating high voltage and those kind of conditions between the two electrodes, you can separate electrons from the atoms, and you are going to ionize the entire gases which are used to be there. So basically, to generate plasma in the lab, you need to separate electron from the atoms by either by high temperature or by simple electrically. You can generate high voltage. You can generate high voltage gradient between the two electrodes. One is going to be the grounded electrode. The other one is going to be at very high voltage, and between the things either in the vacuum or at atmospheric pressure. The electrode geometry plays a very important role. So you can generate plasma, the ionized gas. So these are different examples of plasma. The sun is in the plasma state where a lot of things are a lot of fusion reactions are going on. Helium is fused and helium atoms are getting fused, and they are generating releasing large amount of energy. So this aurora is there, and this lightning, where again very high voltage, millions of volt used to be there, and then this lightning is one example of plasma state, and we are generating this plasma in the lab, and this plasma TV, this neon bulbs, they're all man-made plasmas. These plasma torches, you can generate high temperature using these plasma torches. So these are different examples, and basically you can classify, you can divide these things, plasmas, into two type of things for application purpose. This is high thermal plasma, where plasma torch is generating this fume, where at the core the temperature used to be of the order of 5,000 to 10,000 degrees centigrade, and the periphery the temperature used to be at around 2,000 degrees centigrade. So this high temperature plasma is used for waste disposal and this metallurgical application. This is non-thermal plasma, where what you see inside the tube light is a plasma, is again gas is in the plasma state, where electron temperature used to be much higher than gas temperature, and overall it remains at room temperature. You can touch the tube light. So this cold plasma is used for surface modification applications. So you can generate by applying high voltage, low currents, power supplies can be used to generate this plasma. And here high current, low voltage power supplies are used to generate this plasma, and special plasma torch designs are very important. So electrode configuration and those things plays very important role in generation of this kind of plasmas. And in the plasma, there used to be active radicals, high energy tail electrons, microscopic electric fields, and UV radiations. They are used to be there, and they are killing the microorganisms. They are killing the pathogens, and if this used to be at high temperature, it can degrade the material very fast. Within no time, it degrades the organic molecules into small hydrogen, CO, and methane kind of things. Here, these cold plasmas are used mainly for surface modification of polymers and other metals, like plasma nitrogen is modifying steel and making the surface hard. It is activating the surface of different polymers and textile to give you different useful material. So basically, I'll be focusing mainly on these thermal plasma applications. Is plasma pyrolysis is an ideal technology for waste disposal. The important thing is hazardous and toxic compounds, they do not form, or even if something is there in the waste, they are completely broken down into elemental constituent at high temperature. So this is one important reason that at high temperature, you have better control on the dioxin and furan. So so always what we observe in many of these things, that the proper temperature is maintained, the oxygen stored environment is there. The toxins always used to be in much below the limit set by the Central Pollution Control Board. And for dioxin and fluorine, they have set 0.1 nanogram per meter cube kind of things, toxic equivalent quotient. With the plasma technology, we have observed several experiments were done, and even in the world, a lot of experiments were done on this thing. They observe 0.01 kind of 0.01 nanogram kind of things only people are generating. So they are well within the safe limit. And therefore this technology is becoming popular, and for hazardous and plastic and those kind of waste disposal, as well as one can record energy by proper using the gasification or pyrolysis. And inorganic materials are converted to vitrified mass. You can maintain the temperature in the range of 1500 or 1600 degrees centigrade in the reactor, and you can vitrify the inorganic material into the lump, so that the leaching can be avoided. Because if the fine particles of metals are there, they with the water, rainwater, they go inside the ground. They mix with the groundwater and can pollute the groundwater. But when you are doing the vitrification of the inorganic material, whatever used to be there in the waste, the vitrification is giving you the lump of the solid mass, and you can completely avoid the leaching. Then if organic mass is there, more than 99% of volumetric reduction is possible. All the organic things are converted into hydrogen, CO, and methane mainly, and you can use these gases for energy recovery. There is a small movie you can see here. This is graphite arc. So basically, that was this was the graphite arc based system, where it is extremely high temperature plasma is generated here. The temperature what we could measure here was 20,000 degrees centigrade in the white part of this arc. This is another plasma torches which we have developed. Is nitrogen based plasma torch, where again the nitrogen is flowing through this thing between the electrodes, and this plume is coming out, and this torch is the workhorse. This is the very important device, torch and power supply, which is giving you very high temperature. In the absence of oxygen, you can generate high temperature, and you can see the many advantages. This torch provides extremely high temperature. Its conversion efficiencies, like electrical to heat conversion efficiencies, are very high, around 90%, more than 90%. And plasma torches provide extremely high temperature. These are certain characteristics, and high directed energy flux, generation of heat independent of chemistry. You don't require air or other things for burning of the fuel. Like in conventional burners, the fuel requires air, or it requires oxygen. But here, in any gas, you can generate plasma, and in nitrogen or without these things in the graphite arc system, you don't need even gas. So you can generate plasma plume. So fast heating, with 5000 Kelvin, you can generate in millisecond of time. Fast quenching is possible. You can switch off just and this 10 to 6 Kelvin per second is the quenching. And high processing rates are there. So because of high temperature, Arrhenius equation, as the temperature increases, the rate of conversion are used to be very high. Rate of reactions increases with the temperature. So at very high temperature, your converting rate of conversions are going to be very high. These are different plasma torches being used in the world. So they are used for different applications. So basically, you can see here the features of plasma arc technology is no toxic compounds used to form constant heat source, wall temperature you can maintain height properly, core temperature in this is used to be in the order of 5,000 to 10,000 degrees centigrade. Working and performance of the system is possible. You can constantly monitor the working and performance of the system, and the temperature and all those things. Thermocouples are the optical emission spectrometer, and those things can be used directly to monitor the temperature and overall system's temperature profile. You can monitor, and waste to energy is possibility is there. You can use it properly, and you can convert waste into useful gases or chemicals. So even unsegregated waste you can handle. If the waste is unsegregated, you can handle with the help of this plasma based systems. And plasma technology consumes electricity. Electrical bill will tell how many hours system is operated. Unlike incinerators, people are just putting small quantity of kerosene in the primary chamber and just burning. And the proper temperatures and those things are not maintained, and there is no control on many parameters. So here you have this electrical bill is going to tell that whether you have run the system properly or not. So this you can see here. There was again movie for this torch. You can see. So basically now you can see here the system we have developed, and this was demonstrated to CPCB officials, Central Pollution Control Board officials. And after several demonstrations, we got the permission to use this plasma technology for the disposal of biomedical waste. Here is the power supply. Here is the primary chamber, and plasma torch is the graphene based system is connected here, and you are feeding waste from the top, and then whatever gases used to form, we do the combustion in this combustion chamber, and then there is a venturi scrubber, then secondary scrubber backside, and then is connected outside to the chimney through induced drop fan. And these are the officials from CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, and the biomedical, with the help of biomedical waste we have demonstrated. You can see a small movie here. Okay, so basically, this was a small movie on plasma waste disposal of biomedical waste, and we have measured emissions in the exhaust, and you can see all the emissions used to be under control. This dioxin and furane used to be this should be in the range of zero point 0.1 nanogram and all those kind of things. So these are the standards, and we have obtained all the results well much below than whatever these prescribed norms are there. This in the another slide I'll be telling you. So this here the CPCB are in the Gazette of India. They have mentioned that primary chamber temperature should be 800. Secondary chamber temperature should be 1050 plus minus 50 degrees centigrade. Residence time in the secondary should be 2 seconds, and the combustion efficiency should be 99.9%. The chimney height should be 30 meters from the ground level. So, and these are the for different gases. This should be the standard. Your particulate matter should not be more than 50 milligram per meter cube. NOx should not be more than 400 milligram per meter cube. And similarly, this HCl should be less than 50 milligram per meter cube, and that's included. So, and for you to take care of the ash should be vitrified, or it should be dumped in the secured landfill. So basically, how does the plasma pyrolysis system is working? How it is destroying the toxic molecules? You can see here in the primary chamber, your temperature used to be high. You can easily maintain 1000 to 1200 to the wall, but at the near the plasma, the temperature used to be of the order of 5000 degrees centigrade. So high temperature used to be there, then no air, we are not adding air, so, and then we are doing pyrolysis is going on. So unlike in the incinerators where large amount of air is fed in the primary chamber, and air is having 80% nitrogen, which is giving you cold pockets. So this large amount of air is one culprit, and the lower temperature in the incinerator. So that is completely taken care of by these plasma-based things. The temperatures are high, and you are not adding air in the system. Then in the secondary chamber, we maintain long plume, and whatever the gases used to be there, they are also helping. Like combustible gases which are forming, they are also helping in the secondary chamber. You are getting long plume in the secondary chamber, and you are able to maintain high temperature. So this high temperature is again taking care of the complete disposal of the waste, or gases are converted into carbon dioxide and water vapors. So that way, and after this, immediately we are going for quenching. From 700 degrees centigrade, gases are quenched to 70 degrees centigrade. So that is again taken care of, so that you can completely avoid recombination reactions, and therefore such toxic things do not form. You can see here the dioxin destruction kinetics. It is again telling you that if your temperatures are properly maintained, you are everywhere in the reactor, then you can dioxin and furane you can completely destroy. In the world, many companies are working, like Plascon, Plasmox, Retech, Peat, and also this Peat and this Pyrogenesis in Canada, and Alta Energy Corporation, Westinghouse. They are working from 1990 onward. A lot of work is going on in the plasma based pyrolysis and gasification for energy recovery from waste. And in India, the Institute for Plasma Research has taken initiatives in 1998, and a lot of work is from since then. A lot of work has been done on biomedical waste, and right now, Institute is developing a large size 5 ton per day capacity plasma pyrolysis system, which is going to be commissioned at Varanasi in about 1.5 year time. This was, you can see, it's a very feed system in China somewhere, Shanghai, China. It's about 60 kg per hour system, which is designed by Pete International. This is energy, ultra energy plasma gasifier, where they are converting waste, MSW, into useful gases. And these gases, plasma converted gases, they can be used either for energy recovery. You can convert it into electrical energy, or you can use them as a fuel, and you can convert them into some other chemicals. So a lot of things you can make using plasma converted gases. It's like hydrogen, CO, and methane kind of things. Whatever you are generating from the waste, that can be used for multiple applications. This kind of vitrified mass used to come out uh, from the system. If you are properly temperature, you are maintaining proper temperature around 1500 to 1600 degrees Celsius in the bottom side, and you want to vitrify the mass, then such kind of things are possible. So, and these blocks can be used for different applications, and they are not leaching. These blocks, if you are dumping somewhere, they are not leaching to the groundwater. So that is one important point here. Syngas, hydrogen and CO formation is there. Other hydrocarbons are used to form. You have to control the soot particles. So soot particles should also be within the limit as per this thing. NOx and SOx, they should be taken care of by your gas cleaning system, as well as your chemistry has to be such that this you minimize the formation of these things, as well as you take care in the second gas cleaning system. And you can see that this is giving you the rating. So all pollutants, they are used to be
Sir?
within the limit.
Sir?
Yeah.
Nema sir, one
Hello.
small.
Yes,
Sir,
yes.
your audio is
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
low.
Okay. Okay. I'll just see this thing. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Fine. Okay. So basically, you can see this plasma pyrolysis system which we have developed, and this system is giving. This is again the primary chambers, all those things you have seen, and we are using it for biomedical waste as well as other ways. We are converting it into useful gases. And these emissions, you can see what emissions we have measured in our system. Is here, this is the CPCB standards, where CO and NOx and these things are there, particulate matter, and what we are getting it all, everything is under control, within the limit set by the Central Pollution Control Board. This was one system we had commissioned at Goa in 2000, somewhere around 2002, where biomedical waste, Goa Hospital, it was there, Medical College Goa, Bambolim, and large amount of waste every day was disposed of. This was only demonstration system. It's only 15 kg per hour system. It was just to demonstrate the technology, and in that lot of this disposal was done, and but it was all the emissions also were under control. And this is there. The technology has been included in the Gadget of India. Plasma pyrolysis technology is recognized for safe disposal of biomedical waste, and this is a part of this MOEF gadget. This is bigger size, 1 ton per day system, which is we are at FCAPT, Facilitation Center for Industrial Plasma Technology. We are using it for large number of experiments and disposing variety of waste stream using this plasma and getting useful gases, CO and hydrogen and other gases. And we also demonstrated energy recovery in this system. This is one system we have commissioned at CSM CRI Bhavnagar. This is you can see we are using for different solvent waste and as well as solid waste, and getting CO, hydrogen, and methane for you can use these gases for energy recovery. This was one system we our technology transfer partner, Mrs. BL Engineering, they have commissioned at this is at Gandhinagar, Gift City, Gandhinagar. It's a very compact system for disposal of about 150 kg waste per day. They have to dispose. This was again before they go for bigger system. They wanted to have one compact system and wanted to do trials with sludge and waste, which comes out from the Gift City, Gandhinagar. Now at Varanasi, we are developing one common biomedical waste treatment facility completely, which will have everything, which will have that will be operated by some vendors. So vendor selection is going to be there. Different steps involved. 200 kg per hour plasma pyrolysis system is going to take care of about 5 ton per day. Autoclave, shredder, effluent treatment plant, everything is going to be there. So this system is going to operate, maintained by some vendor, and this will be done continuously for few years, and then this was successfully demonstrated for about 2 years. Then the administration with Cancer Hospital Varanasi, Homi Bhabha Cancer Hospital Varanasi, their administration will take over the entire this thing, and they will run and operate. These are certain parts. This is primary chamber, and here is the feeder. For this is for 5 ton per day capacity system. So for 5 TPD system, which is going to be this is lot of work is going on here, and in about 1.5 year time, this thing is going to be ready, and this is going to be shifted to Varanasi. IPR, Institute for Plasma Research, is also developing one, collaboratively working with BRC for 25 ton per day capacity system, and we have got some responsibility. We have to carry out the demonstration of 250 kilowatt rapid arc-based plasma arc system and its continuous operation. Then CFD analysis of primary chamber and secondary chamber. The implementation of 250 kilowatt torch in the project. So they are the part of our this thing, and this is a collaborative project with BRC and Institute for Plasma Research working together for this very high capacity system, which is going to be used for municipal solid waste disposal and energy recovery. These are some of the analysis work which is done, how the temperature profile is going to be there. So that is covered here, and you can see the overall outside, inside the refractive lining should be proper, so that here different compartments are there, compartment A, B and C. So refractive lining which is there is going to be there inside the reactor. That is very crucial, so that you can maintain the temperature in the hot zone. The temperature profile should be properly maintained, so that you do not form toxic things, and you can convert waste into useful gases rapidly. So this will work in the this gasification mode, and you are going to convert gases, this waste into useful gases. Again, this temperature profile is telling you the outside temperature is going to be lower. So when the system is going to run, the outside metal temperature should be room temperature or slightly above room temperature. It should be less than 50 to 60 degrees centigrade. So you can see here the advantages. Plasma arc gasification systems are more beneficial. They are producing large quantity of power. So kilowatt hour per ton of micro MSW. You can see this was again taken from this site, and This is clearly demonstrating that plasma arc system are having superiority over simple incinerator. Incinerators are having only some 544 kilowatt hour energy is produced from one ton waste like MSW, whereas the plasma arc is producing 816 kilowatt hour, so which is about 50% higher. And this is done in 500 ton per day capacity plant. At Institute for Plasma Research, we have demonstrated, you can see here, this is the system where we have demonstrated the energy recovery from waste, and we have run the this IC engine from the gases which are used to form. So whatever gases used to form, they also contain some tar and particulate matter. So you have to need proper cleaning. You have to remove the tar particles, tar and soot particles, and then the clean gas only should go in the gas generator set. IC engine based gas generators. So their gas is combusted and it is going to rotate the turbine, and you are able to generate electrical energy from that. So this was demonstrated at CPT in a project which we got it from CP's DRDO. You can see gases which used to form from the pyrolysis. Simple polyethylene was pyrolyzed, so we got about 28 to 48% hydrogen, carbon monoxide and methane, 15 to 20% methane we could obtain, and some higher hydrocarbons and other things were there. These various petroleum products we could pyrolyze, and we could generate carbon monoxide, and this gasification was done for these different petroleum products, petcoke, vacuum residue and sludge, and we could demonstrate the carbon monoxide and hydrogen formation from these things, and vacuum residue has given us the highest amount of hydrogen and CO syngas. This was the system which is used, and you can see here from vacuum residue we got about 85.4% of syngas, and that was the highest. And you can see by again the plasma gasification, you are going to use it for when you are using plasma, you are from the feed stuff, initially you are removing moisture, and afterwards this waste is broken into char and volatiles, and then in the presence of plasma, if controlled oxygen you are adding, the equivalent ratio if you are varying from 0.25 to about 0.5, this oxygen you are adding in substoichiometric ratio, then you are able to generate these kind of different molecules, useful gases in the gasification, plasma gasification. And you can see here 300 kg per hour, various things are there. Electricity you are dumping, and the waste you are dumping, dry waste, and from plasma gasifier you are generating large amount of energy. And this is another approach where you are going to do the removing the debris and other things, and removing the moisture content here, and then again using it to recover energy from the waste. These are some of our patents in plasma pyrolysis technology, and we have transferred this technology to BL Engineering, Bhakti Energy, Rajkot, GP Green Energy System, Kolkata, and this biomedical waste we have recently transferred to Messrs. Ankur Scientific Private Limited, Vadodara. These are all non-exclusive technology transfer to different people. This is very briefly the SWOT analysis, which is talking about the strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. So strength, you can see that this is again approved technology for biomedical waste from MOEF and CPCB. This is the disposal is done in environment friendly manner, and hazardous and toxic waste can be safely handled, can be destroyed. Whereas weakness is that its relatively capital cost is relatively higher, but operational cost is nearly same as that of incinerators. This operation cost and for both the cases, what we have seen in the case of biomedical waste, that incinerator and pyrolysis system, plasma pyrolysis system are having the same operation cost if you are maintaining proper temperature and conditions. The opportunities in India, Make in India and Swachh Bharat, under that a lot of opportunities are there, and this technology, because it is environment friendly technology, it can come in the market. So a lot of opportunities are there. And waste to energy, because of waste to energy, these things for plastic and other kind of hazardous waste, organic waste, it is going to be beneficent because it is going to generate a lot of energy from the waste. And threat is that polluting incinerators are there. They are if they are there in the market, this technology, because this cost is capital cost is higher, so one has to take care. The government is strictly they are putting restrictions on the polluted technology or polluted incinerators. The incinerators will pollute. It has to be this technology can come in the market without any difficulty. So, but right now the polluting incinerators are also there, so they are the major threat. So I'd like to summarize here that IPR has successfully developed many environment-friendly technologies, and thermal plasmas are capable of disposing different variety of waste streams. And we have demonstrated biomedical waste and petroleum waste, and one can even take care of this the paint and other chemicals. Expired defense waste can also be safely disposed of in the plasma system. Energy recovery from organic waste, that's possible, and you can use the plasma gasifier to recover energy, and this technology is definitely has a great future. So I'd like to acknowledge all these people, and I also acknowledge, I thank the committee for giving me this opportunity. These are the people who had contributed, and here some of the people, some of the companies who are interacting with us in different plasma-based technologies. And I thank you very much for your kind attention and patient listening. Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Actually, there are few questions in the chat. Maybe I will read out those things one by one. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah. Please,
yeah.
Please.
Maybe after that, I may ask the participants to put up their questions directly. The first question is,
Yeah.
currently, even the municipal waste associated with the potential COVID-19 patient is considered to be disposed like an infectious waste. Will it increase the utility of plasma pyrolysis to manage this growing waste?
Yeah. Is surely, because plasma technology is safe. It is doing the safe disposal, and it is disposing the things at at high temperature. So it is always safe to use plasma-based technology because it is not giving you pollutants outside. And high temperature and plasma torch environment, that is going to dispose of virus and other things within no time.
Okay. And add-on question is also there. If yes, how can this technology be made more economical?
Basically, capital cost and those things are definitely going to be high because you are using power supply, so to generate plasma R, and electrical energy is there. So electrical energy cost you can reduce if you are using solar energy. You are combining, you are making hybrid system. You are using solar power, and for whatever electricity is consumed in the system, that should come from the solar power.
Okay.
So
There is
either solar energy or wind energy, some other form of energy which is cheaply available, that should be used.
okay. Okay. Okay, sir. I hope there is few more questions. Which pollutant affect most ozone layer? I hope it is a general question.
No, basically chlorine and chlorine-based things, they are responsible. And if this chlorine-based things, one chlorine atom is if it is going in the environment, it can dissociate a very large number of ozone molecules.
Okay. So next question. Is there any carrier gas used for the extraction or production of plasma?
Carrier gas is just basically is used for sustaining the plasma long. If you want to do the better heat transfer mechanism, convective heat transfer, this gases are we are flowing through the electrodes, and this is giving you long plume. Long plume is directly heating the waste. So nitrogen or simple air, they can be used in a controlled manner. So nitrogen is very commonly used. Other time, in some other places, even air plasma torches are there in the world.
Okay. Sir, next question. For dead body cremation, why we are not using plasma technology instead of traditional electric crematorium?
It is possible to use this plasma based technologies. Only thing is that again the cost is one restriction right now, because when people compare with the conventional technologies or simple burner based technologies, their cost is lower. So people are always looking for, in India, the cost is playing one important role. So here we are working. We have submitted one small proposal for this kind of making a plasma device to cremate the dead bodies. So that we have just submitted one proposal. But in future there will be possibilities are there that this plasma-based thing would come in the market.
There is
This is Dr. S.K. Gupta, sir. I have asked you this question, and in the continuation to the same question, what I would like to say, see, basically in the electric crematorium, the time duration is very large. But if you go for the plasma, the time duration will be less. Because I am from the Kanpur, and what I see during this COVID time, in the electric crematorium, there was a lot of waiting.
Yeah.
Okay, there
Yeah.
daily near about the 50 to 60 dead bodies are coming. So if we are having
Yeah.
like this plasma therapy, the technology we are using it, then the time
Yeah.
duration will be less over there. So and secondly, we will also get a gas of the synthesis gas. So that's way if we go for the overall. So I think the plasma will be efficient and whether economical also. What is your view on it?
No, definitely it can dispose of the entire body in about 20 to 25 minutes time. However, these gases which used to come out, they are again, you need some, and then finally you're releasing the things in the environment. Nobody, whatever things are going to happen in the things, you need to do complete burning of the gases, like whatever things are formed, so that in the secondary chamber the complete burning is done, so that no virus and other things should come out with the air outside. So these gases which are formed, what you are seeing in the case of plastic and other things, hydrogen, CO, and methane, they can be utilized. But from dead body, nobody wants to use such things. It is going to hurt their feelings of the people. So it is possible, yes, in 20 to 25 minutes time, we can completely dispose of the body. On that, we'll be working. In case we get this proposal or those things through, then we'll be working on to develop once a system. Uh, the economy part means if the initially if the government is taking some initiatives to start this things in some of the crematorium, they want to put these systems, that would be possible. But when you go for conventional these things, the cost wise is definitely conventional things are going to be cheaper because you just need burners and gas in the case of conventional incinerators. Hello.
Yes, sir. Okay. Sir, two more questions. One is whether these units can be fit to both thermal and cold plasma. I don't know, actually, this connectivity is missing. He has mentioned whether these units can be fit to both thermal and cold plasma.
So basically, the application, everything depends on application and where you want to use it. Sometimes people are also using this cold plasma for some specific things, but your application should tell the need. If the application requires, then fitting is possible. Yes.
Okay. Sir, next question. Whether we can use the waste material in any form after plasma pyrolysis, that is the rejects, I hope.
Waste, can you repeat the question?
Maybe the residues can be, whether the residues can be used after plasma pyrolysis, means whatever it is coming out of pyrolysis process, whether it can be reused.
No, actually, if you are maintaining the high temperature in the reactor and going for vitrification, because vitrification of the residue that requires 1500 to 1700 degrees centigrade temperature. So if you are getting the blocks of from vitrified mass, those vitrified mass people are using it for as a pebbles at different locations. People are colorful pebbles are coming because if your waste is having some iron content high, then you'll be getting reddish color things or blackish color stones. So those things are possible. They are people are getting it and they are using it as a pebble because no leaching is there, so you can use them as a pebbles.
Okay. Okay, sir. There is one more question, sir. Will it be time consuming to produce plasma for such large waste management practices? As we always felt that plasma production takes hours when we were using ICP-MS for elemental analysis.
No. Both the things. This doesn't take time. In less than a second, in a millisecond, you can switch on the plasma. You can generate the plasma in a millisecond. So you need to worry about this part. Plasma production is not an issue, and large in a very large kind of large systems, multiple people are using multiple torches, and multiple torches are generating high temperature within no time.
Okay. So it means there is no activation time required.
No. The preheating, only preheating is done for any big reactor is there. In a big reactor, you need to do the preheating up to 800 degrees centigrade, and then you start feeding the waste. So your multiple torches are there. You can generate this high temperature. Which preheating time is very common. But plasma formation, plasma generation takes in milliseconds. You can generate high temperature plasma.
Okay, sir. I have one doubt, sir, actually. We are using different types of electrode for this. What is the lifetime of these electrodes?
Yeah, in case of a graphite electrode, you can see whenever you are using graphite electrode, this it is consumable, and with every 1 hour, about 2 centimeter or 2.5 centimeter electrode is consumed. So there is a mechanism. We are constantly feeding the electrode inside. Continuous feeding the feedback control is there. So whenever electrode is consumed, it gives a signal and it goes inside. So and in the case of conventional nitrogen-based torches, the tungsten used to be the cathode and copper used to be the anode. So they also get consumed with time, and you have to replace after 600 hours or 800 hours. You may have to replace them and go for another electrodes.
Okay, sir, one more small doubt. What is the percentage volume reduction in terms of waste? If it is 1 metric ton, finally the residue will be how much? Roughly.
I'll tell you, particularly organic waste is there. If organic waste is 100%, then the volume reduction is going to be there more than 99%, 99.5% volume reduction is going to be there. But if it is having a lot of inorganic things inside, debris and other things are there, so debris and those things are going to remain as it is in the reactor. Only organic mass is going to get convert into gases.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Audience, the session is open to you. If you are having any doubts, you can unmute and you can put up your questions.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes. If there is no doubts, we can end up the session.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you very much for your detailed, in-depth presentation on the plasma pyrolysis technology for different applications related to the waste management. On behalf of Department of Civil Engineering and the organizing committee, I thank you and thank you very much, sir, for your in-depth presentation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Participants, actually, the poll will start in a minute. The question is like this: whether plasma pyrolysis is comparable with conventional incineration? Okay, that's the question. Just 1 second, I'm starting it. Yeah. Yes, poll started. The question is like this: whether plasma pyrolysis is comparable with the conventional incineration process. Anyway, thank you very much for your patience. We will have our third session of the day from 2:30. The portal will be open from 2:15 and we will have our third section. Our expert is Dr. George K. Varghese and the topic is environmental forensic. Okay, so third section will start exactly at 2:30. So kindly join by 2:15. Right. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lakshmi, yes.
Sir, this is Lakshmi from Anand Institute of Biotechnology, Chennai.
Yes, ma'am.
I had completely attended the session, but there wasn't any poll. Now, since you've introduced, I was a bit confused whether there was any poll.
Last section we didn't had any poll. We have retrieved the attendance from WebEx.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Attendance about the yesterday?
Sir, we have retrieved the attendance and actually we are thinking whether we have to disclose or not. Because otherwise, we are just cross-checking with the WebEx data. And maybe after that, we will try to update it.
Okay.
Sir, can we have a Google Classroom for this particular program where you can share the resource person's presentations?
Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan, actually, we have asked few experts about the presentation and all. They are not ready to share, to be frank. Actually, they told, okay, whatever the recording is there, you are going ahead with the recorded section. That is fine, that you can share with the participants. There is one thing.